There are similarities between minimal drawing and poetry. I think there is a love of the white around the thing and isolated on a page.
What makes cartooning so unique?
I think they're unique in that they are two in one. They're words and pictures.
How do you bring out this kind of distinction between body and mind through your cartoons?
The cartoonists who strike me as most honest, Roz Chast and Gabrielle Bell, their characters look a bit different in every frame. Growing up in the 90s and being expected to look like Rachel from Friends with a very specific kind of beauty. That's why I chose to make my character amorphous.
The shadow concept, because it's kind of the part of you that you want to keep dear. And it's outside the body and it's dark and it doesn't look like anything. And yet it's the bit that really matters.
Yeah.
What do you think the average person can gain from cartooning themselves?
For me,
love. Yeah, I think you kind of implicitly mentioned it, but people have a sort of thing about cartooning where it's the idea is that it's supposed to be simple. And so you're it might not be everyone's idea, but I think actually your ability to communicate the thing in the most simple way is actually a really difficult thing. And I think if most people tried to pare back and get the emotion just right with only one line, I think there's actually quite a lot there. But yeah.
Yeah. My trick is that I draw very tiny. I don't know if that would help everyone, but it might help some people.
Mm. And another thing you said about being a cartoonist that helped you as you got into it was your ability to step back and see from an outside lens, and then you create a distance, and that's why you're able to cartoon. What sort of things do you think you pick up on that most people otherwise wouldn't, maybe, that you get with that distance?
I've always felt like an outsider. I think I have I'm slightly differently wired than average, and social things have always been really hard for me. I don't think I spoke above a whisper until my 20s or made eye contact. But I've always been a watcher of people because I want to learn how to be a person. So I think that's where my subject matter comes from.
It's interesting in terms of kind of the originality in cartoons is, or let's talk about New Yorker cartoons just to simplify things. The originality there, I think, is really interesting because it's original and it needs to be really clever, but it also needs to be something that's really recognizable. So the kind of thing which somebody says, oh, why didn't I think of that? So something that almost feels within everyone's kind of conscience wants to come out to the forefront, but only the cartoonist can really word that in the right way. I don't know who it was who spoke about it. There was an interview related to Very Semi-Serious. It might have been the director of that documentary. They said there was a New Yorker competition and there were two chickens embracing or something along those lines. And one of them said, and you had to come up with a caption for it. And she or he, the director, put in their submission, which was something like, oh, sorry, I only date organic. Something like that. And they found out afterwards that there had been hundreds of submissions with almost the exact same wording. So I was wondering, for a cartoonist, when you're drawing a cartoon and a caption, writing a caption for that, when do you kind of notice, yep, this is it. This is clever. This is different.
Yeah, I think you're right. You need to strike a balance between surprising and something people immediately understand and relate to. And I think having a caption that hundreds of people have also submitted probably means it's a great caption. Although you can't publish a cartoon after someone else has already published the same cartoon, that would be not original enough. I think of cartooning a bit like joke writing. So when Jerry Seinfeld talks about what it's like to write a joke, that's very, very similar to writing a cartoon. Part of how I learned the technique of writing cartoons was reading a book by Bob Mankoff, the former New Yorker editor, called The Naked Cartoonist. And he really walks you through it. And it's illuminating. It really is. It's like a practice. It's a practice. It's a narrow art form with rules. It's a 1-2 punch. There's a setup and a punchline. You're supposed to see, the reader should see the setup before they see the punchline, whatever that means.
Ooh, yeah, it's almost like this mix between technical but also feelings based, and it's interesting that you mention Jerry Seinfeld. I'm a huge fan of him and his self-titled sitcom. I think what makes him so special, yeah, he's amazing. But I think what makes him so special is his ability to take really ordinary things and look at them from a very perceptive angle, which I feel you do in your cartoons as well. Things like dating or day-to-day life on the public transport. What do you think about that? What makes you kind of so able to bring out that perception?
I think I suffer a lot on public transport and in dating in a way that I think other people are able to ignore.
Okay.
I think I'm just a bad person. I'm not an evil person. I'm bad at being a person. So if someone's sitting a little too close to me, as one must on a bus, I just like really seize up, and it's horrifying in a way like that someone else might feel a little horrified, but maybe not even register that they're feeling horrified. So it's kind of impossible for me to not need to process all the minutia because they're excruciating. And similarly with dating, it gets harder when you are married because you don't want to write about the person you're married to because you can't escape them after. So my work has gotten a bit less personal.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the episode. I just wanted to drop you in a word from our sponsor Manscaped. You can use the discount code LOAF to get your discount, because even a lion needs to tame its mane.
Get the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra from Manscaped now. Stay fresh with no cuts, so that your baguette leaves no crumbs.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that short excerpt from our interview with Liana Finck. If you want to see the whole thing, click right here. And don't forget to like and subscribe because we've got loads more like that coming in the future. If you've got any requests for guests you want us to interview, drop a comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.